Hi, this is Adam Kunzmiller with BGG TV at Gen Con 2015, and I'm joined by Brad Talton with Level 99 Games, and we're here to talk about Pixel Tactics. And more specifically, Pixel Tactics 4 and 5 that have just come out.
4 and 5. So you say just come in. These are actually our press proofs. So these are the one, or I guess actually there's one other copy, but the copies that were rushed, airmailed over from the factory for us to preview and to say, is there anything wrong with this, or is it all right? Can we send this over, box all the games up and send them over? So when we get these, it typically means all the games are printed and ready to go, and they just have all the components sitting out on a packing table waiting to start packaging the boxes.
Sure, so you're getting the final okay, let's do it.
Right, and I'm happy to say that we looked through all these, we proofed them last night while we were at Gen Con, and they've all passed proofing, so they are all on, or we've given the okay, they're going to be packed. So probably Monday, as soon as our printer gets back in the office, these will start being packed up and be ready to ship over to us very soon.
Cool.
Which,
and if there's anyone watching who hasn't happened to play Pixel Tactics, what is Pixel Tactics?
So Pixel Tactics is a strategy RPG style game for your tabletop. And if you've ever played Final Fantasy Tactics or Disgaea or Ogre Battle,
Sure.
or those sorts of strategy games, it kind of creates that in a competitive head-to-head card game. So each card in the game, and is this there where we can zoom up on one of these?
Sure, we can do that. Actually, let's do that.
There we go. So each one of these has 5 different ways that you can play it. In the front row of your unit, they're going to have some kind of offensive melee ability. In the middle row of your unit, they usually have some sort of support or flank ability, something that helps out the others or buffs the other members of the party. Then in the rear, they're going to have like a ranged attack or a spell they can cast or something of that nature. Everybody also has a one-time effect where they can just be played and they pop in and do their thing and leave. Those are usually quite powerful, but of course the card doesn't stick around to help you fight.
Sure.
Also, each character has a leader ability, and you'll promote one character in your team to be a leader at the beginning of the game, and then that character will have some kind of broad-reaching ability that informs your entire playstyle throughout the game. So you'll pick a leader, your opponent will pick a leader, and then you'll start laying down heroes to build up your unit and to try and take out your opponent in a grid like this. And Pixel Tactics actually doesn't require any kind of map to play. You can play it anywhere because the row that your characters are in is all relative to your leader. Mm-hmm. So if my leader's in the center, these guys have the red ability, these guys have the green ability, this guy's the black ability.
Gotcha.
Or blue ability, sorry. And as soon as I can destroy my opponent's leader, or they can destroy my leader, then the player with the leader left wins the game. And that's pretty much all there is to Pixel Tactics.
Great. And what do Pixel Tactics 4 and 5 add to the mix?
So each game has the same basic rules. It's completely playable. It's a complete 2-player game on its own. Mm-hmm. 1 was kind of a general intro to the series. 2 focused on spells and special abilities. And 3 focused on team synergy. In 4 and 5, we've actually introduced in 4 a new card type called Traps. And Traps let you interrupt your opponent's turn with new effects. Mm-hmm. So very much a control-y sort of play, which is a lot of fun. You know, spring things on your opponent like aha. Pixel Tactics 5 is more about hand management and hand control, and looking at what your opponent's able to do and countering them in advance. And it's also got a nice balance of powers from all throughout the different styles of play.
Now the traps, are they triggered by the opponent doing specific conditions, that kind of thing? So
yeah,
a little bit of a mind game going on. Mm-hmm. If you know your opponent's playing traps, suddenly you're like, oh, maybe I don't want to do that just yet, that kind of thing.
Because you could certainly, there's a small enough pool of traps in the game that you sort of can bait out the things that you think your opponent might be playing against you. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of mind game there and a lot of good counterplay that the traps create. And we also have coming up Pixel Tactics Deluxe, which we haven't received the proof for yet, but that's going to be a big storage box that holds all these together. So it's kind of like the big geeky box of Pixel Tactics. Cool. So that'll be coming out pretty soon as well, and we hope to see printer proofs for that the next month.
You say you've just proofed these. When can people actually get their hands on them?
Well, when we proof them, they have to be packed and then they have to be loaded, so it's usually going to be about another 30 days to get them on the boat, and then another probably 14 days across the Pacific, and then about another 2 weeks to get to our warehouse.
Right.
At that point, Kickstarter backers will get theirs. From the time it gets to our warehouse, it's usually another 2 to 3 weeks before our distribution agency gets it to distributors, and then distributors very quickly get it to retailers, and then retailers will get it to you. So it's
So-
about 3 weeks after that. So
So roughly 2 months for Kickstarter backers, 3 to 4 months if you didn't back it on Kickstarter.
yeah, and that's a pretty conservative estimate.
Sure.
So things could go a bit faster, but they probably won't go too much slower unless there's
Some
boats
crazy
sink
shenanigans happen, right?
Yeah, knock on wood, right?
Yes, yes. All right, well, thanks again, Brad, for talking to
Yeah,
us about
thanks for
Pixel
that.
Tactics.